Hello, George here again. Well, I've spoken a lot about the United States, but I'm not actually in the United States. I'm in the Philippines. So I wonder, how does all of this narrative of the transformation of the world fitting into the Philippines? Now, as I've mentioned in previous videos, basically the White Hats, or the Earth Alliance, have taken over and defeated the Illuminati, right? And so now, this has not only happened in the United States. This has happened all over the world, and it's also happened over here. So what happened in the case of the Philippines is that Trump, I'm trying to remember the year, but a couple of years ago, I think, went to the Philippines as a visiting attendee in the ASEAN. That's the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. We had our kind of like a summit, and was held in Manila. And the president who came to the Philippines, and there was also an aircraft carrier around nearby, and he was actually, I think he brought some Navy guys with him, and he met the president. And so, like all other government leaders, each leader in their own way had to submit, right? In the case of the Saudis, they had to let Trump participate in the sword dance. In the case of Israel, they allowed the United States to relocate their embassy to Jerusalem, and so on and so forth. It's different for every country. In the case of the Philippines, in a typical Filipino fashion, our president, who is Rodrigo Duterte, I sort of privately nicknamed him Rudy. Okay. Although that's not, I don't know what that's his official nickname, but I sort of think of it as Rudy. Anyway, Rodrigo Duterte, or Rudy, our president in the Philippines, he was asked by the president to sing in an entertainment presentation attended by the ASEAN leaders. And of course, I think our president did that, and it confused the other ASEAN leaders. The other ASEAN leaders were also telling Trump, "Hey, I'll sing too," but no. And Trump said, "No, just this guy." And he complimented him actually after the party, and in the morning later, when they had to sit down in a secure area just before the press left. He complimented the President Duterte, how he couldn't tell the difference between a professional singer and Duterte. Of course, he couldn't tell the difference was a clue, right? I suspect that at this point, when President Trump visited, I think our president might have been replaced by a double. Because there are some things that have been done by President Duterte that are out of character. For one, he became pro-American. I mean, our president was really pro-Chinese and anti-American. And he was growing close to China, and all of a sudden, he even go as far as, we're going to abolish the Visiting Forces Agreement. I mean, I think that the Philippines defense is dependent on America. If it wasn't for the America guaranteeing our defense, we're pretty sitting ducks, because we pretty have our best naval vessel is like a second-hand boat with a single cannon in the front. That's it. I mean, of course we got a few of those, but basically they're sitting ducks, right? I mean, and our Air Force, don't even talk about the Air Force. I mean, we got helicopters. And we got slow jets, but nothing like an F-16 or anything. Mind you, we might be getting them soon. After all, we have a pro-American president. But anyway, the thing is, you see, our president became pro-American. Also, one thing is, he really is not really blaspheming God as often as he used to, because he used to do that as a habit. It's like a tick. He does it naturally. It stopped. I haven't seen him do that. But what I never really suspected they gave it much thought. But what really gave it away for me is that last Christmas, and just a few weeks ago, our president gave a Christmas message, and he smiled. I've never seen him smile before. It's completely out of character. I mean, he's getting like a tough guy, like he always talks about how he's killing people and we should wipe them all out, that kind of thing, a brash talker. He doesn't really smile, and it's so unnatural. So I think this guy is a double. Anyway, so you see, now of course, I only suspect that, right? I can't be sure. You see, the code signals for if somebody has been found guilty is usually the COVID test, and if a significant person or a leader or a VIP or a celebrity is tested for COVID and announced in the press, not for ordinary people. Okay, this is not like for ordinary. If you're a celebrity or a famous person or a leader, powerful person, and the press release says that you've been tested for COVID, that's actually a code. Tested for COVID means, I think if you're tested for COVID and you test positive, that means that you confessed to your crimes. And if you were tested negative, you did not confess to your crimes. And if you were tested negative, you didn't confess to your crimes, you will be dealt with at appropriate time. But your name will not be preserved. And if you're in quarantine, that means you're being held for questioning. That's the thing. So now I think it's the case of Duterte. I don't think he was tested positive, so he didn't confess. So it looks like he was dealt with. So it could be that eventually he was replaced with a double, or it's not even that difficult to CGI the president. Because every time I see him, he's wearing a mask. And the guy's wearing a mask nowadays all the time. So and actually, for those of you who are probably in other countries other than the Philippines, I sort of take a good look at your leader and find out if you think that's the real guy, right? I mean, definitely, the Boris Johnson in the UK is a double. So is the Queen and Prince Philip, and the good news for you guys over there in the UK is that what I'm hearing is that Prince William is not involved. I mean, he's in the clear. He said, so that's great. I think he made a great king. I hope it's true that he's in the clear, and I hope it's true as well that his mother, Princess Diana, is actually alive. Because if she shows up again, she'll be the Queen Mother. So you notice that the Prince William is he's fronting a lot of things now. And of course, needless to say, all the politicians in the states, all the former presidents, I think Clintons, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, the Obamas, that's the Bushes, and they're all executed. So you're looking at doubles. So you just take a good look at them. Biden as well is and Hunter Biden, his son, is already executed. So they've been sent to, I don't know where they got executed, either in Gitmo or in Greenland. Greenland is the one for VIPs. So anyway, and so they're doubles, and you can research this yourself, and you can just Google the internet. And the one of Hillary Clinton, actually, there's one showing that her body double, her official body double when she was younger, is probably the one because it has the same body shape. In the case of Duterte, our president, he's very easy to replace with a double because he doesn't really have a very sophisticated thought process. I mean, he just says typical things that guys would say when they're drinking. It's very easy for even a comedian to replace the president. And if you're wearing a mask, it makes it a lot easier. You don't have to do so many prosthetics. All right, or so there you are, and I suppose that's good, and maybe that's probably why there are lots of good decisions being made by the president recently. Like he's continued to build the roads. There's less traffic now. Of course, a lot of people are working from home, but There's less traffic now. There's less pollution. I'm hardly coughing nowadays because the air pollution is much lower now because the traffic levels are so low. And we're building big airports. Our population is increasing and our birth rate is increasing. Apparently, when Filipinos stay at home, they like to increase the birth rate. Which is not the case in other countries, but it's good because the world population eventually is going to be going down, and in those countries who are smart and say, okay, I'm going to increase my population, are going to be in an advantage, right? Because those countries who are increasing their population will eventually become a greater percentage of the world's population. And so the Philippines is going to prosper. It's going to prosper a lot in over the next 100 years. So bear in mind, children are a blessing. In the old cabal, they wanted to think that children was a liability. It was like, it's a luxury. So no, children are a blessing. The more children you have, I wish I had actually. I have two. I wish I had more. I didn't become a believer in growing the population until late in life, So I wish, for those of you who are younger, I encourage you to have as many children as possible, because that is wealth. Many children is wealth. And that's not just a slogan. I mean, if you the only way you can produce wealth is by applying labor to capital. Right? That's what Marx said. So where do you get labor from? Well, you get labor from people, right? So the more people you have, the greater population you have, the more production. Producing surplus from capital. That's where wealth comes from. So if you have a shrinking population, your potential for your country to generate wealth is lower. So the market gets lower. Everything goes down. Whereas things go up. Anything, there'd be too many. There's too many people. If there's too many people, where you are, you must move to where there's less people. This is a big planet. The most parts of the Earth are not even populated. All right, I'm digressing. So anyway, I wonder, where is Rudy Duterte? It'll be nice. I really want to believe that maybe President Trump just had a chat with our president, and our president had a change of heart. He saw the light and he reformed his ways over time, slowly, because it didn't happen all of a sudden. But it's just as likely that he was replaced by a double. Oh yeah, another giveaway was that the president, without getting any concession in return, actually returned a prisoner, an American soldier prisoner, who was accused of murdering a transsexual in the Philippines, and he was held in the Philippines in the embassy, in the American embassy. And our President Duterte recently allowed this soldier to return without any asking for concession in return. That is so much out of character that it's another indication for me that our president might actually be a double under control of the United States. Now, if our president can be double, and everybody, if I share this anywhere in the Philippines, they're gonna think I'm nuts, because he's on TV. It's obviously the president, he's on TV. But so how much more in America, when we have Biden, who won the election, which was actually staged, and from my reports I got, the video feed for the inauguration was actually released before the inauguration, so it was actually filmed and staged before the inauguration itself. So it's fake. The inauguration is fake. And so everything that you're seeing now on television in the United States, or could be fake. All the things about Biden, all the narratives, I'm not sure exactly where Trump is. I think he might even be in the White House, or if he's not, he's in the Pentagon, right? But he's or maybe having a break somewhere secure and gonna return. I don't know, but I think he's definitely in control, or maybe an interregnum, like a military government is taken over. Because it was a sting operation, you see. The bad guys, like all the senior leaders, even Biden himself. I mean, they were all doubles. So when you're a sting operation, you're pretending something is happening, like you're pretending to sell drugs or you're pretending to sell weapons, and all of the others who don't know you're pretending are participating. And so the idea is to arrest those who are participating. So it's the participants that are they want to take down, and I'm hearing numbers like 500,000 people are going to be arrested. That's why there have been so many national security people in the United States who've been deputized as marshals. And when this happens in the States, it's going to happen all over the world. The whole world will be restoring to a new economic system based on gold. It will be a gold-backed money, and it's going to be a different kind of government. It's not going to be maritime law. It's going to be a common law. Okay, just Google it. Sorry, I don't want to explain. We've been under all governments have been under maritime law, which is law by consent, whereas the law of common law, which is basically natural law, is the traditional law, which is more libertarian. And so the things are changing as hopefully this pantomime or charade in the United States will be lifted soon, and we can see the reality. As I hope the psychological process for enlightening and basically deprogramming the American population, it doesn't take too long. What I like to do is everything to come out in the open is real, and we can all get on and have a new civilization to build up from the ashes of the old, and to be a Christian civilization too. It'll be great. So there you are. Oh God, I wonder where Rudy is. Okay, I will soon find out. Okay, George, signing off for now. See you soon. Bye.